Welcome to the E Show, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network.
We checked his pulse. He's alive and well. If you're looking to feel like warm and fuzzy inside, like I'm your guy.
And I'm sure you threw me right under the bus.
Yeah.
You're my dog. Woof.
Yeah, goaltending is the toughest position, I think, in all sports.
I think it's announcing.
Neil's dad's a dentist.
You're still pretty nimble at 43. It's not bad.
If I get called 46 years old one more time, I may leave.
What a great lesson in the alphabet.
Dude, you had like butter in your gloves.
That was a bad sneeze.
Often been imitated, never really duplicated.
We're having a good time.
We're having a good time.
And now, here's your host, the commissioner of the Eastern Hockey League, Neil Ravin.
Welcome back to the E Show, the final episode of the 25-26 season. Jake, does it feel like the final episode to you?
Oh, yeah, now it does. Yeah. Considering we both probably stayed in bed for like an hour after we woke up yesterday, I would say it's definitely the end.
Like when you wake up and you're still tired, but you slept for a while too. Like,
yeah.
How was your recovery?
Today is really good. Yesterday was still okay, but like today, 91. Like I'm back.
Have you ever had 100?
Highest I've gotten is 98.
Good night.
I've had 100% sleep before. I got 100 on my sleep score.
Impressive. Well, I would say, in terms of the quality of the event, Jake, we get 100 for the Frozen Finals because this was a very, very special year. And let's start breaking it down now and around the E Show.
Let's take a look at what's going on around the E Show.
So let's go day by day because I think that's the best way to kind of go back and relive what took place. I think going into it, we were excited because we knew for half of the teams, the two EHL teams, they'd never been there before, right?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody from the Bears had ever walked in that building before. The Seahawks coaching staff had come to see it a couple times and kind of get that feel of what it's like to be there. But that new sense, that new feeling of having kind of fresh faces there, to me, that got me excited before we got started.
Yeah, I think that was like the most exciting thing. It just felt different. Every year, like there's always been like that one team at the EHL level that has been there, done that. Whether it was the Avalanche, the 87s, but this year, like to see those colors walk in. Like it was exciting.
It was two different color schemes for sure. And we kicked things off on Thursday with the Avalanche and 87s, who had faced each other twice in the regular season.
Yeah, those colors I was like, I've seen this one before.
But never really against each other here at the P level, right?
Not in the P,
yeah. And the Avs had won and really controlled both matchups in the regular season. And they were far and away the better team on Thursday in Game 1.
Yeah, I think it served both teams well that game because I think the 87s kind of realized like, okay, like we are really gonna need to play the best we can play to compete with the deepest and best EHLP team I think we've probably seen in years. I think this is the deepest EHLP team where like everyone is pulling on the rope and there's just no weak link on that team. They were incredible. And for the 87s to do what they did in Game 2 was impressive, but I think Game 1 was maybe not like that much of a gap, but I think Game 1 was what people were expecting, a bit of a wake-up call for New Jersey.
Yeah. And it was hard to walk out of that first game and think that we would get to Saturday, but we'll get to that. For the EHL series, though, following that, I think we knew Game 1 from the moment the puck was dropped, like, get the ice bags ready. Because those two teams, they did not miss a hit in the first 10 minutes.
No, man. Talking to Coach Z before the game, he was saying how, like, they play similar to them, and it is true. Like, they're both, like, kind of very heavy teams. And the Bears are such a like below the goal lines kind of team. Like they're going to go to work. I mean, think about what like the Xander St. Pierre line does for that team. But and you looked at like the first 40 minutes of Game 1, it was all Bears. It was all Bears. Xander St. Pierre got one back for the Bears to make it 2-1 going into the third, and then you put the Seahawks on the power play. It's a new power play you're facing pretty much. Or you only saw it once at a showcase, and showcase games are always kind of weird. So then to see it again like that, and credit to the Bears for killing off, I think, every other Seahawks power play after that. But like that was obviously like a learning curve for them going against the best power play in the league, and they ran away with it. Clifford's similar to Game 1 against the Avalanche, stole the game in the first 40. Seahawks managed to put together a really good third and they won the game. By a score that probably wasn't on paper 5-1. Power plays, and because the Seahawks are just that kind of team that they're going to score on their opportunities. Versus a Bears who have to work a little bit harder for their opportunities. Like the Seahawks have that natural finish, and I think that's fair to say.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know it finished 5-1, but it didn't feel like a 5-1 game. Like it felt to me like a 3-1 game, really. But look at the stats. It's the one of the teams you do not want to give power play chances to, which they didn't for a long time, and then they get 2 chances in a row in the third period. It's like 4-1, 5-1. Icing on the cake, this thing's over. An exciting first day that we walked away saying, well, there was one team that really, from each game kind of by score-wise dominated. We'll see what day 2 brings with it, and we'll see if we have a day 3. Remember last year we only had the EHL game on day 3.
But I did learn my lesson from being at Bath, and I did say both series were going 3.
Okay. And I was there from start to finish for this one too. It wasn't like I came in the middle of it, right? So,
and you are officially not a curse for.
Oh, please! If anyone from the
EHL,
the P team may say I still am, but
yes.
But we get to Friday, and this is why you play the game like this, and I think that. The way the Bears won the EHL game 2 was how I thought the EHLP game would go. Because eliminating someone, I think Coach Z said it to you too. Like ending someone's season is the hardest thing you can do. But for the 87s to literally flip the script,
they worked
the way that they did. I mean, wow, that was impressive.
Outside the first shift of the game, like I'm talking like very first shift. It never felt like the Avalanche were going to win that game. They were on their heels. They looked so discombobulated. Keith Bizjack Lawrence was great in net when he needed to be, but then it was Eddie Kenzel doing what he does best. They got some scoring from Matt Duffy, who had a fantastic game. He was flying out there. Thought Green had a good game on the back end, and they got contributions from Liam McGovern, who's a young guy in 08 in that building for the first time, and he scores a massive insurance goal in the third period. And it felt like there was a little bit of a hangover for the Avalanche in the second period of Game 3 too, where they were just kind of like mentally like, oh my god, like we're really struggling right now. And I think they went into Game 2 overconfident for sure. I think the 87s also learned their lessons in Game 1, similar to a Bears, where it's like, all right, like you give a team like that chances, they're going to score. We're going to have to work a little bit harder for the same opportunities, but we can still score with them. And they did. They scored 4-1.
It was honestly, arguably more dominant than the Avs were in Game 1.
Just based on like how they made the Avalanche look ordinary. Yeah.
Yeah, like crazy how it plays out. So we walk out of that saying, all right, well, EHLP only went through 2 games last year. We've guaranteed ourselves 3 now on Saturday. I know it's 2 totally different organizations, both from New Jersey, but did the 87s win maybe give the Bears a little jolt of something?
Well, because I wasn't. I was only doing like intermissions for the EHLP and interviews, so I was able to like kind of like walk around during game time and like talk to people. And the Bears were watching the second and third period of that game, and like Jackson Brasser, Book Forrest, and a few of the players were like, "Now we just need to do what these guys did. If they could do it, we can do it." So I think It was kind of like these guys got shellacked on game one. I don't want to say the Bears got shellacked because they didn't. They outplayed them for 40 straight minutes. Coach Z will tell you that. But on the score sheet, they got beat up. And if they could do it, we could do it. Was the mindset. And so I think that's a great question. And I think the answer is I think it made them believe a little bit more that it wasn't over, because that was the Bears' first time losing a game one. They had been to 3, obviously, but they had never lost a game one in 3 prior series.
With the PHC series, that was the only one went to 3. Yeah. They had lost game 2 of that series.
Exactly.
Yeah. I just thought that New Jersey brotherhood type,
Yeah, I mean, Jackson was saying like I don't know if I want them to win because it's the South, or because they're our biggest rival, I don't want them to win.
But every Frozen Finals, there's one game that just the energy, you'll always go back and think of it as like that game. That was Friday night's EHL game. I know where the Seahawks are going to say they didn't play that well and this and that, right? But that game Friday night was awesome.
Yeah, and it had Coach Z going into day 3 saying, can we be ourselves for one of 3 games this weekend? Because the Bears again just totally had them discombobulated. The first period, I think both were the first period. Nicky DeGeorge had a shorthanded 2-on-1, and then a breakaway where he went to the backhand, and Nick Mealy stopped them both. And I was like, wow, the Seahawks are getting a little bit more 5-on-5 chances, but that was really it. It was the first period that the Seahawks really had those kind of looks. Their power play, the New Jersey Bears completely adjusted and shut it down. Garrett Carvunas was incredible in that game, and they got scoring from McCree and Ward, and obviously that the engine of their team did it again. Nick Mealy was great. But again, the Bears did what they did to 3 teams before the Seahawks for 2 games. They forced them to play Bears hockey. Unfortunately, they couldn't come away with game 1 because of the special teams, but game 2, they won the special teams battle, and they won the game.
Yeah. Those games make me so anxious.
Yeah, you get secondhand nerves for sure. And being between the benches too, you get it.
Where do I stand?
Physically?
Physically, where do I stand?
Oh.
Because you have to be ready.
Yeah.
But you can't be too ready. And in 2011, that was the year the Bruins won. You probably didn't watch the Bruins Canucks final that year.
Of course I did.
Okay, game 1, Rafi Torres, 18 seconds left.
Yeah.
That's my nightmare.
Yeah.
Is if what had happened for the Bears happened for the Seahawks, were we ready for the all-tournament team and everything? Because you have it happens that quickly that you go from, are we going to overtime where now we have a plan one way or the other, or if this happens in the last possible second, we got to get the table out there right now, or the Bears score and it's all right, see you tomorrow.
Yeah, I was between the benches, so I didn't even know anything of this was going on. And I think we were preparing for overtime. We kind of had an idea of who would get certain things if the Seahawks won, and I think a lot of it stayed the same until the final day. But no, I was glad to not have to worry about those things and just be down there.
Did you see where I was standing on the game-winning goal?
The Danks one?
Yes.
No, I had no idea.
I was behind the Seahawks net up top there by the intermission table.
Okay.
So Doyle and I agree that if we got there, we could get to the scorer's box ice level in 30 seconds if needed.
Yeah, I mean, what is I guess you they're gonna celebrate. You don't need to put all that pressure on yourself, do you?
Agree, but there's the anxiousness of the rush of it.
Yeah.
Right? You get on the ice, everything's set up, and you're like, wait a second, I still have time. They're still celebrating. Of course,
yeah,
right? Yeah. But every celebration is different, right? I think we thought that, and I'm getting ahead of the dates here, but I think we thought that when you win the championship, everyone passes the trophy one by one, and then you take the team picture. The Avalanche got the trophy and then went on the ice immediately for the team picture.
Yeah.
The Seahawks did the one by one. You just never know how it's all going to play itself out. And maybe it's the Rafi Torres goal that has me feeling like anxious because like then we literally experienced it. Like that
he was like a total goon, right? Like he was like a
total
dirty.
he was a total goon.
Yeah.
But like then we haven't ever had a game-winning goal like that in Providence, and that was like Clifford got what 95% of it, and it just trickles and
like
trickles.
it was like on the inside of the far post.
Yes,
Yeah,
and it's just like you kind of I'll think back in the moment, and like it's just like you'll always remember that first thought, and in my head was coming back tomorrow, like this. You see the puck cross the line, it's like, we're coming back tomorrow. Because at that point, what? There were 8.5 seconds left. They're not going to score to even the game. Like, there's not enough time.
Yeah, I got a little taste of their own medicine from Game 3 a few weeks ago. The East Division Finals.
Yeah.
And that late goal scored on them.
Yeah. So, but credit to the Bears. I mean, when you really think about this playoff run they went on, and we've touched on this before, this being their third year in the league, like they checked off the box for their first playoff win this year. Then series win, then division win, then regional final, then win in the Frozen Finals. Like
yeah, if I'm not mistaken, like it was a year of firsts for both. I don't think the Seahawks won around until last year against the Wizards, right? In the EHL.
I believe that's correct, but there had to be there were their wins before. Like they
had a playoff win for sure, 100%. Yeah, but I think that was their first series win, and then this was a year of firsts for them too. First regular season divisional finish, playoff divisional finish, Final Four, like Providence, and then all the way to a championship.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I think made it so cool between the two teams is that both were on this, like they were making history as they were winning these games. Another team makes it there. It's like, okay, like now we just need to get it done here. Like we've already done this other stuff before. Like for those guys to catch fire and all experience it, totally new as a staff and as a group of players, I think was really special for the guys. And I hope the Bears kind of realize that in retrospect, that even though it ended this way, you still want to go through all those kind of things.
For sure. So we get to Saturday. We start with the EHLP game. And I think the way that the first two games went, you probably had to tell yourself it would be a close game.
Mm-hmm.
Because we hadn't had it yet. But probably a coin flip at that point, depending on
I was expecting like overtime. I think we said overtime the night before. We were close to it.
Yes.
But the Avalanche also dominated 19 minutes of that first period. And I was like, all right, it may just be like the 87s did what they could in game 2. And then the second period just completely looked like the whole game from game 2.
It also, to me, looked a little bit like last year's EHL series where the Avalanche were the better team for a while, but they never separated.
Yeah.
They never got that goal to put the 87s away. And as soon as the 87s broke the ice, it was like game on.
Yeah. So gutsy by the Avalanche, though, to tie it and score in just a short amount of time. And Krivoshev, I remember like the weekend before at Babson, we were talking about how well he was playing and how he was just driving play and couldn't find the back of the net. Games 1 and 2 and 3 until that goal, same thing for Krivoshev. And of course, it was David Wood who tied the game. He had so many big moments in the playoffs for his team. But that was the gutsiest stuff we saw from the Avalanche. Even more gutsy than, I think, the Seahawks series coming back from down 3-2 in game 2. Very reminiscent, but they had never looked as, again, discombobulated in the Seahawks series as they did in the 87 series. So I think they really needed to get their heads on straight for that third period, and they did it.
Yeah, and listen, maybe it was going to Game 3 against the Seahawks that gave them a little bit of the adversity that they needed to be in Game 3 against the 87s. Right?
Yeah. And I think genuinely they had, higher expectations from the Seahawks, and I think that came to bite them in Game 2 of their series. And then in Game 3, it was where it should have been. The 87s played them really well. They dominated a period, and the Avalanche got the timely goal scoring they've been known for.
Yeah, and it will go somehow unnoticed, but there's a diving, punching, sprawling save from Owen Holland in like the second period.
End of the second, yeah.
Where it's not conventional by any means. Like the puck is in the air and he had to like jump to punch it away. But that was going in. Like,
yeah, oh my God, yes, yeah.
So
it felt like it was in slow motion, like seeing him, like he looked like a seal. He looked like a seal at like an aquarium that like goes up for a treat,
It's not where my head went first, but I guess that's what
it's a good analogy though. Like,
it's great.
That's exactly what it looked like, yeah.
It's where I figured you may have thought, actually, now thinking back on it. But they take a penalty late, the net's empty. That was frantic at the end. But the Avs hold on, and you still have to kind of pinch yourself when you say, like, that's the Avs' first title at the EHLP level.
Yeah.
Do you think, and Josh said this in his interview with you afterwards, think about how, like, the teams they've had.
Yeah, I think back to my first year, like the Gazzardi, Hines, Atkinson, Curtis team, like they were so good.
Like these are guys that moved up to EHL and now are playing significant roles with their college team.
Alex Gerard was their goalie that year.
This is the team that finally broke through, and Josh said the best. Like those guys, established the culture for themselves at that level when they eventually just punched through.
Josh saying like earlier in the year, like if this team isn't the one to do it, I don't know what to do next. And so I think good for Josh. I think he might have lost his mind if he didn't get that one. But that team was so deserving, and like they're gonna have like a plethora of guys from that team like move up. Like we already know Woody and Doobie are two of them that are gonna make that jump. Popham as well. I mean, he played a significant amount of EHL time in the new year this year. Like that's a team that did it the right way. They were filled with young guys. I mean, the best players were 07s for them. Like your Doobies, your Pies, your Hutch, right? Like they were all the right thing you want to see out of a P team. A lot of high school hockey products that were the best of their class, and they got to show it at the junior level.
For sure. And I mean, an awesome game, obviously. And I think we knew that we were going to get a good Game 3 for the Bears and Seahawks too. But the chaos came after that game was over.
What do you mean?
The fire alarm.
Oh, that was awesome.
No, it wasn't.
Oh. Come on, that's a great story.
We had so much time in between games. If I had known the fire alarm was going to go off when it did, I would have just pulled it the first game was over.
Yeah, I mean, that's not something That's not something Dude, I thought it was.
Where were you in the building?
I was hanging out with Seth, dude. Like Seth was like walking to the locker room. I was walking to the broadcast booth, and we just like started chatting like briefly. And I hear like the alarm, and I was like, "Oh, Jeff's got a new one for Game 3." And
that was the music.
I thought it was Jeff Mazzone, the music. I thought it was a warm-up mix. And then I see the lights flashing, and I'm like, "That's new. That's not Jeff."
Jeff has tapped into the lights.
I was like, Jeff does not have the security credentials for that. And then like this woman's voice who you cannot hear if that's a real emergency. If that was a real emergency, I would have been a sitting duck in there. I didn't move a muscle. I was like, what is she talking about? And then
It felt like everyone was looking at me in the building.
yeah, that's what happens when you're the commissioner.
Like, what do we do?
And then you were like, everyone has to leave the building. For it to be Braden Clifford, it was so funny because Silas Street, their backup goalie, comes up to like me and Seth, and he was like, it was one of our guys. Seth was like, no way. He was like, yeah, Cliffy hit it. And I was like, I was thinking what you were thinking, like, is Cliff going to be rattled?
I thought he was going to be rattled. I'm like, this is the starting goalie.
Yeah.
Now I got this public safety guy showing him the video of him doing it on camera. Like, I'm not a goalie, I'm not a goalie. You don't know what's going through his head in that moment. But, like, I'm like, he's going to be rattled. Oh, my God. Like, this is how the Seahawks lose because
I just love that the MVP of the playoffs pulled the fire alarm before the game.
but like hit it with the knob of his stick too. Like there's a picture that Doyle has that's like all of us outside, and it's just like, what is happening, man?
It's a great story, man. But truth be told, the only hitch from this year's Frozen Finals.
You don't know what happened after that. The Zamboni door was stuck.
Oh.
You didn't know that?
No, dude.
So, first off, I got like nervous at first because a lot of Seahawks came like walking right outside with their skates on. And like I'm like, oh my God, they have their skates are on. And then I realized that all they did was they pulled the steel out so they could just walk without the steel in. Richard was laying out towels. Like, there's people everywhere, man. Like, it was kind of ridiculous. The Denver Pioneers, like, lacrosse team is outside too. When we go back inside, warm-up start, the rink guy comes to get me and says, we have another emergency. I go, the lights are off. Like, do I need to get the teams off the ice? He goes, no, not this one. The door wouldn't go up.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh, Jesus. Like, we probably could have made it through the first period without the ice cut. It wouldn't have been great. Because the guys don't shoot up that much during warm-ups.
No.
But I was like, oh, boy. Oh, boy. So, like, you didn't notice that it took a while to get the Zamboni out there?
I did notice that because I was like, we were back in for a little bit.
Okay.
And things were taking a while. But
I paused the clock.
I was just thinking that things needed to, like they were still sorting things out with the Clifford incident.
Oh, my God. The Zamboni was stuck. We couldn't get it out.
So, I mean, we were putting out fires, I guess.
Well, Doyle's on a ladder. The rink is on a ladder. This thing finally goes up. I'm like, okay. He goes, I'm going to make the fastest sheet of ice you've ever seen. And he was cooking, moving around the rink. But don't they say, like, bad things come in threes?
Okay.
I was waiting for the third thing.
Yeah.
All day long. But it never came.
Maybe it was for the Bears.
So let's talk about this now. I mean, I know it's 4-0. I know it feels like a dominating third game. But for the Seahawks to lose 3 game twos in a row and then bounce back every time, like, that's wild.
Yeah. That's the first thing I asked Cliffy, and in the post-game interview, it's like 3 different times you had to bounce back after a game too. And you just look at the way the Seahawks played, like game 1 versus the Express, it was power play heavy. They were clearly, obviously 7-1, they were clearly the better team. But 5 power play goals. So it's like, okay, like they were still better, but a lot of special teams. Game 3 was a close game on the scoreboard, but you watch periods 2 and 3, like the Seahawks played their best hockey of the series in that 40 minutes. It was domination. Then Game 3 versus the Avalanche, 5-1. They were dominant. It was their best game of that series. They got better as the series rolled on. Game 1, not great for the Seahawks. Game 2, somehow like even worse for the Seahawks. Game 3, like that was Seahawks hockey for the first time where just like start to finish, they were the better team.
Yeah. And maybe their best game of the season, too, right? At the best time. And Mealy played well still. I think there was a couple that he could have wanted back, but he still made a number of big saves. And Clifford was just like, it was one of those games where after a certain amount of time, you're like, all right, he's just not going to get beat today. Like it's just,
I can't. St. Mike's better like lock up the fire alarms. He's going to be doing that before every single game. He's like, this works.
Yeah, they'd be like, can you just do it early this time so we can just clear the building and then get out? I mean,
this is his new superstition.
I did not like. I thought like you, like man, he's got to be rattled.
Yeah,
like he just delayed the game. No,
and like you look at him, and he like seems like he's kind of like a heady goaltender, like with the prep and stuff. Like some guys are looser than others, but like I don't know, like he doesn't come off that way. He comes off like he takes like his 2 hours before the game extremely seriously.
Yeah.
So like that was to have that interrupted and him be the culprit. Dude, I just love that our MVP set off the fire alarm.
Was it the fourth goal, the dagger for you, or was it earlier? I mean, the fourth goal to me was like, all right.
The fourth goal was the Micus one.
Yeah.
The third goal was Ranta.
Yeah. The fourth goal was late enough in the game that I was just like, that's it.
The fourth goal was it. The third, you could see that happening. You could see a quick one, a lucky one, and then a nice one, right? You know what I mean? Like you could see that, but when Mike just scored, that was it.
Yeah. Game finishes up. You're in between the benches. Did you glance to the coaches at all?
Which coaches?
The Seahawks coaches.
No. I was looking at the players.
This a very brief handshake from Z to Rocket.
Really?
Because it wasn't about them, he said. And then you could see Seth. Like Seth wanted to
Yeah, I saw Seth going like this.
Yeah.
But I think they wanted to watch what the guys were doing. Z talked about how cool it was to see them run and jump around like little kids. Like after they scored the freezer goal with 6 seconds left in the second round.
Yeah,
6.7 seconds left actually in the second round. And I think that was a big thing he kind of talked about the whole weekend was how special it was for them to go through it and make the memories. So I think he wanted to just watch them, soak it in, and they had their big sellies, right? They had huge sellies back in that game. They had sellies in the second round, so I think they realized this one is about them.
Yeah, yeah. Did you happen to see who pulled a Tyler Brandish on me this year?
It was Nikki.
Yes.
Yeah, big hug.
Yeah, I got a few comments that I looked happier in that one than the rest. I was smiling at all of them.
Yeah.
But that one...
Well, you had a little history at that point with the Forward of the Year plaque and the chirps from the Seahawks staff.
Yeah, so I kind of did chirp him a little bit with that. I said, you're going to keep this one.
Coach Richard was yelling, give it back, Nikki.
But then Cliff was like, I guess they couldn't handle the fire. I was like, oh, man, unreal story, man. So it was, and I give the Bears all the credit in the world, right? They emptied the tank. And I think there's always going to be that disappointment from them, from the 87s to the P level too. But seeing the Bears in the parking lot afterwards, I wouldn't say chipper, but content.
Yeah, disappointed, but you're not devastated, I guess.
Proud still of what they had done, and Ryan Rakowski walked up to me, James Georges walked up to me, Xander St. Pierre. I'm like, guys, I'm just trying to pat the car. You don't have to come up and say hi or anything. So, but it was just it was a cool final moment with a number of those guys. Nick Mealy too. They deserve all the credit in the world for how far they carried that program this year.
Yeah. I mean, I texted you the night before or the 2 nights before, and I was like this is gonna suck and be great.
Yes,
because I don't think you could find 2 better groups of kids in this league than those guys. They were just incredible, and it speaks to the coaching staffs too. They're such good people, and I still will maintain in my 4 years in the EHL that Bears team was the best, most well-coached team that I had ever seen. The most bought-in team to what they needed to do in order to win games because, Killer will tell you himself and the kids will tell you themselves. They didn't have that one stud. They didn't have, a freezer who could pick a corner in any given moment. You know what I mean? They had to work for everything they got, and they did. They did until they played as many games as you could in the league, pretty much.
Yeah. I will say this, though. Xander St. Pierre played like a stud.
Xander St. Pierre might have been the best player on the ice.
There were college coaches there that said, he's committed? Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I know. So, but looking back on it, just two incredible series. And maybe it was the hockey gods looking down on us, Jake, when the fire alarm went off and the Zamboni door got stuck, that we hadn't really dealt with anything, right? It's Providence, so you got to have some hurdle thrown your way before you hand off the trophies. But
Clifford was like, these guys, the staff has had it too easy.
Boom. I when he saw the video of himself too, I'm like, oh my god, this kid. He's gonna.
I hope he in the moment took it. Now he obviously can take it really in stride, but I'm hoping in the moment he took it in stride too. But just Braden Clifford as a whole, man. P last year, he was good, but he didn't he wasn't putting out fires. You know what I mean? He was for his team this year. You know what I mean? This was he made a case for himself in the new year to be in the goalie of the year conversation. He went to Pipeline Player of the Year as, one of the best players to climb up the ladder. And then, he was absolutely the most valuable player in the playoffs.
Game 1 against the Express, Game 1 and Game 3 against the Avs, Game 1 and Game 3 against the Bears. He had 5 dominant performances in the postseason.
Game 1 against the Avs was ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. He is and he's fun to watch too. You know what I mean? He's not a big blocky goalie that's just getting in front of things. He is athletic and constantly in the splits. He is a fun, aggressive goalie to watch. For sure. So, but caps off the 7th year in Providence, 8th year of the Frozen Finals. The bar's been raised again. Yeah, and you think about the Seahawks team, the way they trailed the division for the bulk of the season and how they were without Bouchard for so many games, right? A concussion and then the injury at the Broad Street Battle. They were worried if they were even going to get him back for playoffs. Friedman missed a ton of time in the new year. I remember that Avalanche game that I went to where Nicky told me he was going to try to hit 100. They didn't have Evans, Quinn, Friedman, or Bouchard. You look at that, those are, what is that? 3 of the 5 guys that start every game for them, and then their captain. I mean, the Evans, Neville, Gates line, of course that's a line that's going to show up big in the playoffs. They were incredible. They were a team that just had the right pieces. They had guys that understood their role. The 4th line, Jack Doherty having 3 points in the series clinching game to win a championship. That's what happens when you have coaches that identify roles for guys that are just correct.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but a special thank you I have to give to everyone that worked this past weekend.
Yeah.
Obviously yourself as part of the broadcasting team with your brother. Listen to the two of you go back and forth. That's awesome, by the way. Because it's just me and my brother, but Dan and Lucas, the whole intermission updates and everything. I mean, it was incredible. Jeff and Olivia had the box, and we had a few reviews, right? I think there were 3 or 4 that we went to an official review, and I feel like we got them all right personally, but not my decisions, right? But just watching us go through that process was awesome. Mia and Abby, all the stuff that you guys worked on together from a social media perspective, those. I don't know what it is for me, but I love the intermission graphics. I think that's the coolest thing in the world. And the live pictures that you get to see from the actual game
Yeah. I love
So-
the game one, Mia walking down, like, oh, I need a third period picture against when it was Seahawks Avalanche. Danny Keough scores the second. She walks down, walks back up. She's like, got my live picture.
Got my picture. Obviously, Kelly was busy as a trainer throughout the weekend because of all the physical contact, especially in the EHL series. So appreciate her. Matthew Forton, as we'll have to say, like he disappointed for his Bears, but he was awesome, man. Like, wish he could have been there for the whole time, but he was obviously with his college team the first night. But anything we asked of him this year, he delivered and then some. And then MS Films, Matt Schoen, like, were you down behind the locker rooms when the fire alarm went off, or were you up top?
Of course.
Okay, so you weren't. Will Rose said someone's gonna give Cliffy's clip to MS Films, and I was like, dude, we're not going viral with this clip.
That would be awesome. Oh, come on. That would be great. The boys were so hyped to have MS Films there.
Yeah,
That was, man.
and like, you could just take the time to just go back and rewatch everything on Instagram 5 times, like I have, and it's just like you kind of have to pinch yourself. It was just a high level production.
Yeah. Shout out to April and the Flow Hockey Club as well.
And beyond grateful for them, for everyone. I mean, it was special this week. So, and it made it more special that we had 2 game 3s too. I will say that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they gave us more time.
Yeah, I got 5 hours of sleep, but whatever.
Yes.
These teams don't care about sleep recovery.
Is that how much you got Friday and the Saturday? 5 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got 5 too.
And I legitimately thought it was Sunday until like 1 o'clock.
Yeah, I said that to Jeff Mills. And like, it was the second ceremony. I think it was the second one. Like, Jeff, I'm fortunate for Jeff that we've worked together for so long that like we weren't even like talking to each other, but we were like look at each other, and like he knew what I was thinking, like from ice level to press box.
Yes.
Right. Like I wasn't gonna signal like thumbs up, good to go, but like he knew when I looked at him that we were good, and like I think when it comes to Jeff doing PA, I'm used to it now, but like it still surprises me how good it is.
I think that's a good way to say it. Well, it's also, we got different names and different teams, you know what I mean?
True.
This time around, so it was cool to hear like Seahawks goal, you know what I mean? And
Yes.
And he said Bears instead of New Jersey, which was fun to hear, you know?
Yes. Darius's name was awesome.
Yes.
Yes.
What name? There were some good names.
Keith Bizjack Lawrence was
That was a great one. That was a great one. Yeah. But Tativa, Vaclav Tativa.
Yes, that was a good one too. Yeah.
One. That was the one I was trying to think of. Yes, that one was phenomenal.
But I remember when Eric Doyle worked his first Frozen Finals last year, shout out to him too. He was on a ladder fixing the Zam door. I mean, that goes unnoticed in the box score, but we needed that one. I had said to Eric that like Jeff doing PA is like a religious experience. He's like, yes, this is like incredible. It just all together, everyone pulling the strings. It makes the event what it is.
My mom said that too. My mom was like, she was like looking forward to hearing Jeff's voice.
And like I think what impresses me the most is like he's right next to us as he does it. Like there's not like it's not like he's in like his own little booth and he's blocked off.
Room.
Like he's literally in the middle of all of us, and he's just like to have that composure, man. Like damn, like it's a unique skill. So, but it took everyone to put together that production, and like I think for us when we're in the moment, it's hard to see how well it's going. But then to get the text that we get from guys who aren't there.
Yeah, it was cool. It was, this was a fun one. One more moment I got to remember here. I was up in the media Leary, the Eddie, not Eddie, that's the Rhode Island goalie, but the Leary, that's funny, media room. And like Colin Duffy, after they lost game 2, just looks up at me and he just says, like, he mouths, "We got this."
You just lost with 8 seconds left. Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And it was like, he wasn't smiling. He wasn't like super down. He was just serious. And he was like, "We got this."
And they did.
They got it. He didn't lie to me.
So, but yes,
He didn't talk to me pregame. After they lost that shootout game against the Express at the end of the regular season, he was like, "Every time I talk to you pregame, we lose." He was like,
how does someone have that mental note in their head?
He was like, "I am not talking to you unless it's posting from here on out." And I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "The plan is I'm going to not talk to you my way to a championship." And I was like, "You do that, Duff." And he did.
Oh my God, so funny. Well, it worked out. It worked out.
That's got to be the only reason why.
Probably. If anything, it's just raise the bar even higher for what will be next year's Frozen Finals. So, with that, though, we hit the off season and what will be a little bit of a new version of the podcast coming next week. We'll talk about it now and what to watch for.
And now here's what to watch for in the EHL and the EHLP.
So as we've done in the past, Jake will begin his one-on-one interviews with all the coaches. You know what's funny is you're going to actually tell Coach Z that he's first. I think you're going to catch him off guard too. He'll be like, "Why am I first?" What that'll be his initial thought, even though it's obvious why he's first.
Yes.
So, any conversation you're overexcited for this offseason?
So for Shirley Z, for Shirley Killer, and Maddie, since it's been Hooley.
Yeah.
For 3 of the 4, Maddie is I have maintained Maddie's the smartest person I think I know. So I'm very excited to talk to Maddie.
Yeah, listen, Hooley's hit his quota on this podcast too. We get a year off from Hooley on the podcast. But we'll begin those one per week as we begin the off season, which is kind of crazy to even say that we're in the off season now. You have to pinch yourself a little bit with how fast things came and went this year. But
this is my senior year of EHL.
You didn't redshirt, so next year's your senior year?
No, it's my PG. I'm in the graduate program.
It's been 4 years?
4 years, dude.
Well, I don't even know what that means, but I'm going to move on from that. But you won't hear from me again until at least the start of next season. It's Jake's show now for the off season throughout the summer. Congratulations again to the Seahawks at the EHL level, to the Avalanche at the EHLP level for winning the championships, but to all of our teams for another great year at both levels, EHL and EHLP. Good luck with the off season, right? We're entering into a big recruiting time for all of the teams, all of the coaches. And we'll be back again in the fall for another year of EHL. We reset, do it all over again, and see if we can raise the bar even higher than we did this year in Providence. And I believe we will do so.
Like we always do.
Thanks for listening to the E-Show, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. Learn more about us at easternhockeyleague.org and follow us on all of your favorite social media platforms. Also, be sure to subscribe and get notified when our next podcast episode is released.